Jesse Johnson, the son of sharecropper and the grandson of slave James Cleveland Owens, was born on September 12, 1913, in Danville, Alabama. A frail child, Owens was often sick from his battles with chronic bronchial congestion and pneumonia. Still, he was expected to work at the young age of 7. He was picking up to 100 pounds of cotton a day to help his family put food on the table. At age 9, Owens moved with his family to Cleveland, where the young J.C. discovered a world far different than the slower southern life he'd known. School proved to be one of the bigger changes. Gone was the one-room schoolhouse he had attended in Alabama, replaced by a bigger setting with stricter teachers. Here Owens earned a nickname that would stick with him the rest of his life. When one of his instructors, unable to decipher his thick southern accent, believed he said his name was Jesse instead of JC. At Eastern Technical High School, Owens quickly made a name for himself as a nationally recognized sprinter, setting records in the 100 and 200-yard dashes as well as the long jump. After graduating, Owens enrolled at Ohio State University, where he continued to flourish as an athlete. His dominance at the Big Ten games was par for the course for Owens that year, which saw him win 4 events at the NCAA Championship, 2 events at the AAU Championships, and 3 others at the Olympic trials. In all, Owens competed in 42 events that year and won them all.
For Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, the 1936 Berlin Olympic Games were expected to be a German showcase and a statement for Aryan supremacy. But notably, Hitler lambasted America for including black athletes on his Olympic roster. But it was African Americans who helped cement America's success at the Olympic Games, and all the U.S. won 11 gold medals, 6 of them by black athletes. Owens was easily the most dominant athlete to compete. He captured 4 gold medals and broke 2 Olympic records along the way. After Owens won the 100-meter event, a furious Hitler stormed out of the stadium, though some reporters later indicated that Hitler congratulated the athlete on his success. While Owens helped the U.S. triumph at the Games, his return home was not met with the kind of fanfare one might expect. President FDR failed to meet with Owens and congratulate him, as was typical for champions. It was until 1976 that he was properly recognized when President Gerald Ford awarded him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The mild-mannered Owens seemed not the least bit surprised by his home country's hypocrisy. When I came back to my native country after all the stories about Hitler, I couldn't ride in the front of the bus, he said. I had to go to the back door. I couldn't live where I wanted. I wasn't invited to shake hands with Hitler, but I wasn't invited to the White House to shake hands with the president either. Following the 1936 Olympic Games, Owens retired from amateur athletics and started to earn money for his Olympic talents. He raced against cars and horses for a time played with the Harlem Globetrotters. Owens eventually found his calling in public relations and marketing, setting up a business for himself in Chicago and traveling frequently around the country to speak at conventions and other business gatherings. Owens, who smoked up to a pack of cigarettes a day for a good deal of his life, died of lung cancer in Tucson, Arizona on March 31st, 1980. Joseph Louis Barrell, born on May 13, 1914, was the seventh of 8 children of Monroe Burrow and Louis Reese. His father was an Alabama sharecropper and died when Joe was 4. His mother took in washing to support her family. Joe was close to his large family, particularly to his mother, from whom he inherited a deep religious sentiment. His mother married Patrick Brooks with children of his own when Joe was 7, and the family moved to Detroit, Michigan in 1926.
After Brooks lost his job, Joe and his brothers shined shoes and ran errands and sold papers before and after school to help out the family. Joe also worked as an assistant to an ice wagon driver. He later said that carrying heavy ice helped build strong shoulder muscles. As a teenager, Joe was the best boxer in his group. At 19, he won his first national light heavyweight amateur crown of the Golden Gloves in 1933. Lewis received his ring name from his manager, John Roxborough, who found the name Joe Louis Barrow to be too long. Before Lewis became champion, he was beaten once by Max Schmeling in 1936. The following year, he defeated Jim Badrock for the championship. In 1938, Joe Louis met Schmeling again and knocked him out in the first 2 minutes of the round. Lewis fought boxers including Billy Conn, Tony Galindo, Rocky Marcosino, and Jersey Joe. Unfortunately, drugs took a toll on the once indomitable champion in his final years. In 1969, he was hospitalized after collapsing on a New York City street. While the incident was first credited to physical breakdown, Lewis later admitted to cocaine use and fears of a plot against his life. The following year, Lewis spent 5 months hospitalized, suffering from paranoid delusions. Strokes and heart ailments caused his condition to worsen. He had surgery to correct his aortic aneurysm in 1977 and was thereafter confined to a wheelchair. Despite failing health, Lewis still found time to attend major boxing events. On April 12, 1981, he sat ringside of the Larry Holmes and Trevor Berwick heavyweight championship bout at Caesar's Palace. Hours after the fight, Lewis went into cardiac arrest from heart failure and died at the age of 66.